The migrant crisis is a really big topic for those who will be voting in this year's election. All because the migrant crisis costs money. It's taxpayers' money. You work, you get your taxes taken out of your paycheck, and for those taxes which are forcibly removed from your paycheck, you would like to see things happening on your behalf. Let's say better roads, education, police force. All of those things should help you in your city enjoy your life as a citizen of your respective state. But stop the show. What if I were to tell you that you would spend your money on helping criminals come into your city or state and then take over apartment complexes, even though those people don't pay any taxes and are using your money to destroy what you have worked for? Rewind. Welcome to Aurora, Colorado, which is right outside of Denver. It is a nice suburb historically where a lot of families raise their kids there. And also there's a lot of good food, things like that happen in Aurora, Colorado. But not anymore. Apparently we have some people in Aurora who don't want to do right. But this is not just a Denver problem. Let's check out what's going on in NYC.
Back on.
Let's talk about this. 2 asylum seekers currently in custody for allegedly a woman last week in Coney Island. We've also seen this series of robberies what the NYPD is describing as migrant-driven robberies in the area of Central Park, right? What comes next now? Is ICE able to get involved with detaining some of these folks who are bad apples, as they call them,
right,
and deport them?
Well, my staff is out every day. We're out in the public, in the community, trying to remove these public safety threats from our communities. The issue, obviously, that we face is we need the cooperation and collaboration with our law enforcement partners here in the city, specifically NYPD. The sanctuary policies won't allow them to cooperate, but lately you've seen the mayor, you've seen NYPD, the chief of patrol, speak out stating that they need to cooperate with us, and 100% I'm all on board. This cooperation needs to be there because we have the same overarching priorities, and that's to keep the residents and the migrants and the citizens of New York City safe.
And then another story.
He joins me now. All right, Chris, the sanctuary laws, that's the real problem here, isn't it? Apart from an open border.
It is, Stuart. Great to be with you. Of course, if you look back at all the messaging from those that were for open borders, these pro-immigration activists that wanted immigrants to come to the United States and provide all these benefits and resources, well, this is a creation of that problem. This is a reality of the situation. When you have that type of messaging, when you encourage illegal immigrants to make their way to the United States and then you give them all these benefits, well, it's going to encourage more to come. Now they're dealing with the problem and they don't like it. And that even goes back even further than that, Stuart. They were criticizing the state of Texas, Governor Abbott, when he started busing illegal immigrants to New York City. That created a national attention, which was needed because this is a national problem. And now they don't want these people there. Now they see the type of issues they're having, not only economically, but also crime. Now we have this new category of migrant crime that's taking place because they're allowing so many people to come into this country, and they're also, resettling in some of these states. New York is a perfect example where you see all this crime taking place. You have criminal gangs from other countries that have established themselves now in New York City, and it's all because of what they encourage. And they continue to encourage this, and it's unfortunate, but that's the reality of the situation that's beyond what we're seeing at the border right now.
On that note, ICE officials have arrested a Peruvian gang leader who is wanted for 23 murders in his home country. In May, he was arrested by Border Patrol near Roma, Texas, then released into America. How does a criminal migrant with that kind of background fall through the cracks like this? And secondly, what are we going to do with it?
Fast forward. Let's go back to Aurora, Colorado. A lot of the migrants are coming from South America, Central America, Hispanic-speaking people. And of course, Aurora, Colorado is no different. They have Venezuelan gangs that are taking over apartment complexes. But here's the thing. The governor of Colorado is going to say this. So as you know, Denver is a major city for a lot of the migrants, along with, Boston, Chicago, and New York City. So Venezuelan gangs have overrun several Colorado apartment buildings. And this is a part of an organized criminal effort. Now, at first, the mayor, Mike Kaufman, was trying to downplay it. All right. He was saying it's not that serious and all of that. But he had to admit that basically these heavily armed men storming this apartment complex, that it has been taken by a Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua. All right. Now, this is a notorious Venezuelan gang, which is for the most part gets its money or a lot of its income from trafficking, not so much like drugs and guns and things like that, but human trafficking. In fact, a part of this gang is to get these people, these migrants, into America to spread their criminal operation. All right. Now, the particular mayor is slamming the federal government for allowing migrants to flood into the country. Now, if you guys also know, now there are a few sanctuary cities out there right now: New York City, Chicago, and Denver. So they're coming into Denver and then they're coming into Aurora. Now, if you're a sanctuary city, unfortunately, a lot of BS can happen. What I mean, like if migrants go to jail, they can easily get out. They're not going to be deported by ICE and things like that. So a lot of these criminals know this. They know they have certain advantages and they do take them. Now, here's what Kaufman, the mayor, is saying. I think we're the victim of a failed policy at the southern border. You got these massive waves of migrants coming across the border that many of them cross illegally, were arrested, are asked for political asylum, were not adequately vetted, and were released into the country. So guys, you heard it. The governor is acting like none of this ever happened, despite the fact that Colorado taxpayers are literally paying for illegals who are criminals, in this case, to take over apartment complexes where normal Americans work and hold it hostage, going around with illegal guns. Now, let me just say this, all right? Expect more of this if you are to get Kamala Harris as president. The Joe Biden administration is the one that ushered this thing in. If you vote for Kamala Harris, you're going to get more of it. Now, what about you guys who are homeowners or you want to buy homes? Now, obviously, it's very expensive to buy a home in Colorado, just like it is in my home state of California. But guess what? What if you have a home in Aurora, Colorado, and these Venezuelan gangs, and they come in more and more? Well, what's going to happen to your property value? It's going to go down because people are not going to want to live in crime-ridden areas. These gangs who are there don't care. They are going to try to turn it into wherever they came from, which is sad because people have worked so hard to build up their homes and their nice things so that this sort of thing doesn't happen. And what's also different is I got the feeling that these migrant criminals are not going to be prosecuted in the same way if it was me. Now, let it have been African-American guys taking over apartment complex. What would you hear? Yeah, it'd be the police there all day, every day. Me and everybody else would be locked up and they will put us underneath the jail. Now, those are African-Americans who might even have jobs and are tax-paying citizens, but not for the migrants. Guys, enough is enough, especially if you're from the black community in Colorado or everywhere. This thing is going to happen all over the country. This is the plan. You already see what they're doing in Oregon. You already seeing what they're doing with AB 1840, I think that's what it's called, in California, giving migrants the right to basically get home loans. Now they're giving them the right to take over apartment complexes illegally. I don't know what more proof that you need to have as African American or hashtag FBA that these people do not like you. They want to replace you. They want to continue to replace you. And if you vote for them, you're going to get what you asked for. Don't come back in 2028, those who leave me negative comments and start saying things like this. I can't believe all these immigrants came over there and just took our stuff. It's not right. No, your ass voted for it. You voted for it. This is what you're voting for. The last 60 years, this is what we're voting for. I had a pretty interesting discussion with a Rwandese American who used to live in Uganda. And when we talked about immigration, she was like, oh, she wants Donald Trump to lose because she needs some more of her people from Africa to come over to America. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. How do you feel about African Americans getting citizenship in Rwanda? She didn't like that too much, but she damn sure didn't have a problem with more of her people coming over and getting citizenship in America. That's how immigrants think. That's how migrants think. It's all about what is good for them and not for everybody else. But when it comes to them and their countries, they only care about what's good for their countries without other people invading in their privacies. Because there's so many people want to get to America, but if you talk about getting land ownership and wherever they're from, Latin America, even here in Africa, Europe, oh no, they got a problem with that. They don't like that. You need to go back to where you're from. So I'm telling you, this is the kind of hostility that we're going to be facing in America. It's going to happen more. If you think that foreigners are disrespecting you now, godly, imagine by 2028 when they're disrespecting you and they're using your money to disrespect you. I'm going to tell you something about living here in Uganda. You will not use Uganda's money and disrespect their people. It's something you won't do. You will get chopped up probably, okay? I'm just going to be real. You're not going to use their taxpayer money and disrespect people here, okay? You at best, you better mind your business and use your own money and stay somewhere where you can be, not getting in too much trouble. But in America, this is what they're going to do. They're going to disrespect you with your own money. Better get out there and vote for anybody but Kamala Harris. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy, Ashley Jackson, back at it again. Another episode of Fair Use. I'm out.